went to a wedding today, and it was a very special wedding. Two dear friends of mine, and it's been a bit complicated in England. I'm sure it's been complicated in a lot of places about weddings happening and being organised and making sure they go ahead. And anyway, this one was pretty beautiful, and in a church actually that has felt a bit neglected, and but it sort of came alive with decoration and people, and most of all the wedding just kind of totally transformed it from being a place that sometimes feels a little bit sad to a very, very happy occasion. And I'm going to read something from Revelation in the Bible. It says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had vanished, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, made ready like a bride adorned for her husband." And so my dear friends, when they got together today, they weren't wearing ordinary outfits, but they were wearing something very special. And the lady she'd done her hair really well actually, and it looked amazing. And he definitely looked very smart. And he normally drives a lorry, so he doesn't always wear a suit in his job, and definitely looked very tidy, very smart. And it's one of those moments when being ready for a wedding feels like it's such an important occasion, isn't it? It's not something you want to turn up to unprepared and looking a mess and all that kind of thing, especially if it's your wedding. And I think that's something about the specialness of the moment when the bride and bridegroom come together. And this book of Revelation in the Bible is all about that anticipation, that readiness, that getting ready for something new, a new phase, a new season. And it talks about this New Jerusalem, a new city, a place where God comes to live with his people, where there's this union and coming together in a really special way, and being ready for that moment, being ready for that occasion. So when you're perhaps like me, and there's days when you feel not particularly ready, I mean practically not ready for the day ahead. Maybe you're just feeling a bit stressed. I was a bit stressed this morning by a lot of different things that were happening, and coming back from a holiday and having to work out plans and ideas, all the things that were going on. And I can't say I felt completely ready for the adjustment and the new season, although it's exciting as well. I was a bit overwhelmed. I was getting myself a bit stressed from different things that were maybe conflicting or not clear or whatever. And though having a rest, I wasn't sure I was totally ready in my head for a busy week. So, we can have lots of times when we feel not quite ready. And you know what it's like when you're trying to get out the door and maybe you're not ready, or you're with somebody else and you want them to get hurrying up a little bit. And you're saying, are you ready? Are you ready? Come on, let's get ready. We need to get going. If you're like me, you struggle with the patience. Being ready is very important. I was with a friend this morning, and through a few different things, communication things, really, partly maybe my fault in the end. I might not have been helpful in the process. Anyway, and my friend missed the train, and anyway, it all worked out in the end, but it was a little bit stressful. Um, being ready and on time, being ready for the moment. Trains don't tend to wait too long, do they? And certainly not in England. They don't wait around for the passengers. So being ready to get to the station on time is really important. And God wants us to be ready. He wants us to be ready for the now, the situation we're in. He wants us to be ready for his return, when Jesus returns, and wants us to be looking to get ourselves ready, like the bride getting ready for her wedding, really recognizing the importance. It's a big day, it's an important day, it matters, it's worth the effort, it's worth the time. It's important to be prepared, it's important to get there. And I want to pray that God would help us to be people who are ready for his return, ready for meeting him, ready for that wedding that it talks about in the Bible, ready for the moment that we need to really be the best that we can be, prepared for meeting the Lord. Being ready is so important, and being prepared is so important. So I want to pray that we'll be prepared, we'll be ready to present ourselves as beautiful and acceptable and full of God's glory, and having made the preparations, having made the changes in our lives. It's not about an outward appearance, it's about an inward change that needs to be happening so that we can be prepared for the time that Jesus returns. I pray that we will be prepared in our hearts. I pray that we will be conscious, perhaps again, of that preparation, of that willingness to see the thing coming that needs to prompt us to be aware of that day, not get distracted by all the other things. It's no good if a bride is supposed to be getting ready for a wedding, and on the morning she's thinking, oh no, well, I've got this to do and I've got that to do, and I ought to go and see my friend, I ought to I better clean the house, I suppose. I've got some shopping I need to get done. I need to get ready for work on Monday. Or, okay, well, I'm maybe on my honeymoon, but get ready for work when I come back. And to get distracted like that would seem completely inappropriate. What happens on a wedding morning is, you need to be thinking about what you're going to wear, and that should have been thought about quite a long time beforehand. All those details matter at that point. It's a special time. It's not a time to be drawn into the everyday, and somehow that becomes the focus, and you lose sense of the perspective of what's about to happen. But it's interesting. It's easy, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with the ordinary, but if that then takes over so much that we're forgetting about being prepared to meet the Lord and being prepared to know him and draw close to him, and all these other things are somehow just taken over completely, and they seem to be the all or nothing, and we're more bothered about these details of life, that we lose sight of God's purpose and plan and being ready for his return. That's a shame. Not just a shame, but it's a big mistake. So I pray for that readiness. I pray for a willingness to be ready. I pray that God would change our hearts, and that we would be open to hear his voice and be ready for all that he has planned for us. Most of all, ready for his return, that we would take hold of that lesson that the bride really gets on that morning is be ready for the bridegroom, be ready, get yourself ready, don't get distracted, make sure that you are in a place where you get yourself ready. So I pray that for us. I pray that will be so true for us. I pray that be true in our lives, and that would thread through our lives, thread through us, despite the everyday challenges and concerns and needs and everything else that could easily distract us. That our preparation to be ready for the Lord will be the biggest thing that really takes our heart and our attention and focus most of all. So bless you. I hope that helps, and I pray that you too will be